Hey, Dominic the CX guy. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back if you've already been here. My name is Dominic. I am a Zendesk consultant with 8 years of experience. I have been a Zendesk partner for the past 2 years, and I have been subcontracted by Zendesk to work on projects, system optimizations, or Zendesk setups. And today we're going to be discussing a Zendesk setup. We're going to continue actually our discussion about a Zendesk setup and how that looks like. We've already had 2 lessons, and I advise you to check out the playlist, which is listed somewhere. I'm still getting YouTube. So yeah, I trust you're going to see it somewhere. It's in a playlist. It's called Zendesk Setup. So I've done the first one, which coincides with like a kickoff call where I present the process, like from start to finish, what that looks like. I have also created a video yesterday about business requirements and why those are important. And today we're going to continue the lesson, third video of the series, to discuss about business flows or use cases or user journeys or business journeys, however you want to call them. They are, they're essential to us starting to work together, and they're essential to any Zendesk setup. So you have to start with a solid foundation. So this analogy, even if not everyone watching this video is a builder, imagine you're building a house and you don't have a solid foundation. Then imagine you're building a 10 stories high building, or I don't know, shoot for the stars, 100-story high building. And if you don't have a solid foundation for the beginning of your business, then you don't really necessarily, you're not set up for the best outcome, or you have to revisit these, and it's frustrating once you've started things and then you have to roll back to do things right. So better to do them correct right from the beginning, and then collect the fruits on that later. So I do these videos for free, so consider subscribing if you haven't already. So these are some methodologies that I collected throughout my experience of working as a Zendesk consultant for the past 8 years. I've also worked directly with Zendesk, and what I've gathered from there, I've made into this to this wonderful list of steps that we are going to go through for a successful Zendesk setup. All of the successful companies use it. It's obviously not always not set in stone. Every business is different, so there might be some small tweaks here and there, but all in all, you have to follow a structure. And yeah, this is for you. There's obviously a selfish reason behind it. So obviously the one which is the most important to me is to do this YouTube series. So being a YouTuber and sharing this knowledge that I've gathered, and also obviously to find projects to work on. So yes, if you have time to spend to look at these videos each day, I make them every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Monday I skip. Sorry, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So 4 days a week. And I cover various topics. This one is, let's say, a more long-term one, probably like a few weeks long, where I make a video about the Zendesk setup, various Zendesk setups, because there's quite a lot. So how this works is I'm going to share my screen. I show you where we are. I have marked in like a checkbox, a green checkbox, what we've done so far and where we are. And yeah, we jump right in. I show you what I mean. And then, we take it from there. Once again, we're talking about Zendesk setup, and in today's lesson, we're going to discuss how to collect business cases or business flows or user journeys. So without further ado, allow me to share my screen. Okay, so by the way, I do these without any video editing. Why that is because I have a busy enough schedule as it is. So I just want to make sure that I capture, let's say, a live experience. This is what a normal, let's say, meeting with me would be like. And real life has no video editing or takebacks. If I mistakenly pronounce a word, I go back, I pronounce it again, and then we can just go on about our day. So I thank you for your indulgence in taking part in these. I hope you can see my screen. So I am on my page, like it's just my services page. So this is for Zendesk optimization. So Zendesk setup or onboarding. So this is the process which we're going to be discussing. Let me open my, okay, so my Evernote, because I have marked what we've already covered. So the kickoff call, which I presented the process, start to finish. And then now is the customer preparation. So we are here. Actually, no, sorry. So we are in learn discovery. So right now we're in business preparation, customer preparation. So this is your homework, essentially. Yesterday, we've discussed business requirements, and today we're discussing business flows. So let me add a, yeah, it's because we're doing it today. So the checkbox, the green checkbox, because we're doing it today. All right, so let's go to our spreadsheet, which is, yeah, my configuration workbook and checklist. Yesterday, again, we discussed our business requirements over here. Now we're discussing use cases. So I'm just going to walk you through how you can think about these. I don't expect you to do these perfectly, and that's not even the point of it. The point of this is to collect everything that you think is relevant to your business and all the processes that will run through your customer success or customer success and customer service as well. So everything that you can think of is important. And even if you have some internal business processes that don't run through your customer service, then have nothing to do with it, you can still collect these here because these will be relevant. Understanding why this is relevant is I talk about it in another video on Zendesk optimization and how to do that. So I encourage you to collect these use cases, even if you have not done it from the very beginning. It's a good practice to do. You have the advantage to do it from the get-go and collect your use cases. And the reason for it, as I've stated again, it's because you have a solid foundation for your business. I am a big fan of doing things, so just plugging and playing things and starting to do them. So not just necessarily being blocked into doing things perfectly from the beginning. So no, that's not what is expected of you, and nobody expects you to be perfect from the very beginning. No, that's an ideal which doesn't exist. But you can start out with, let's say, 5, 10, 15, however many you can think of business flows, and you can iterate as you go. So the more that you see that, you'll see that the more you use Zendesk and the more you obviously have your business running, the more challenges you have. So you have to introduce those in here and come here every day, or I don't know, as often as you want. Come here every day, collect whatever process or new process or exception or edge case that comes to mind, because imagine that this is as an investment into your future. So if you, for some reason, leave the company in 2 years, you get promoted or whatever, somebody can come in here and read through this documentation and you don't have to spend time with that person and trying to give, let's say, information to them. And obviously you won't be able to transmit all that information unless you have it documented somewhere. So this is the purpose of today's call. This is not a call. This is me recording a video for you. All right, still getting used to it. Okay, so right now let's look at 2 examples that I've written here. So this is depending on whatever channels that you use, right? So in Zendesk, you can use email, you can use forums, you can use the API, you can use chat, you can use talk, you can use social messaging. So you can use a various number of tools to cater to your customers, to do your customer support, essentially. So right now I've only written down 2. I've written one for the email channel and one for the chat channel. So this, again, I don't want to influence you because you don't have to do it perfectly. You just have to write them here as you see fit. I'm going to guide you through how to do it. And then this is something which we will discuss together, right? And I will help you translate these into Zendesk features. That's my job, actually. So essentially, let me stop this for a moment and emphasize on this. It's not important to do things perfectly. And the essential in what we're doing here is to understand why we're doing it, right? So how we do it is a matter of simplicity, at least for my sake. I know my way around Zendesk, and I've been working in it with someone for this time, like for this many years, like 8 years, which is not a lot, but yeah, it's still a great number of years, almost a decade. So it's just a matter of knowing where to push the right buttons. So how to do it, that's the easiest thing in the world. But understanding why we're doing it and give it some perspective into understanding why we're doing things the way we're doing them, then that's actually the challenge. And this is why you need some experience with how Zendesk runs, and you need some experience with how businesses work. So luckily, I do have that experience and I can share it with you. I can't obviously cover everything in these examples that I show you, but hopefully this will give you some clarity. Right, so let me share my screen again. All right. So first use case for the email channel. So who was this created by? It was created by me. Is it a global use case? Yes or no? Yes, this is a global use case. Who is the department or group involved in this? It's going to be the support group. And what is the use case name? So this is an inquiry for new user account. And then who are the actors? So the actors in this case are going to be the end users, or end users as they're called in Zendesk, and for you, they're customers, and the agents. So agents are your support agents, apologies, that work inside Zendesk to support your customers. Okay, so for the email channel, so the preconditions are as follows for this new user account request type. So customer sends an email to help@yourcompany.com, right? So this is an inbound message. This is something which I will do for you. So this is an inbound message, right? If you're not very technical, doesn't matter. It's okay. I will do this for you. Then second precondition would be a ticket is created in Zendesk, right? So automatically, if an email is sent to this email address, then Zendesk automatically creates a ticket, right? So if you do the setup for the email, these will forward into Zendesk. So this is a system, you don't have to do anything. Customer receives a auto recognition reply, which is a trigger, right? So automatically notify customer of received request. So this is a trigger. This comes with the out of the box, so you don't necessarily have to do anything about it. But you don't, if you're not all that familiar with Zendesk, it's fine. I will translate those into Zendesk features. And this is actually part of my job, right? This is a translation into a feature. Ticket routing recognizes country and assigns it to the correct group based on the language that the end user has used. Again, this is a trigger, right? So we recognize the language, and based on the language that is detected within the contents of the email, right? Zendesk has an AI which recognizes languages, and based on that, it sets the end user language, and it replies in that language to the user. If you obviously offer support in multiple languages and you have translations in place. So it only comes with the out of the box, English, and you have to add translations. Okay, so then ticket appears in the correct view for agents to pick up. This is system. Again, so the system does this automatically. So if we set the views to filter requests and show them into the respective queues or views, this is something which the system does automatically. But this also has to be a setup, that's why we have these steps, and we document these, is because this is how we set ourselves to what we need to focus on within our setup, right? Right, hydration break. All right. Then step number 6, agent assigns ticket to themselves or assigns to someone else. This is a manual process. So agents looks at the ticket and considers that it's appropriate to assign it to themselves. Or if they don't know how to handle it, then just forward it to someone else. All right, so this is like the preconditions. This is something which has to happen. So this is mostly something which is going to have to be like, these are the prerequisites to the steps which leads to solving a request. So this is our goal is in customer service, right? We have to welcome customers with whatever request that they have, and we have to solve that request. So the steps: agent determines ticket category. This is a manual, right? So this means that we have a ticket field, which is maybe we call it, let's say, request type, or we call it not ticket type, but we call it type of request, let's say. And then in a drop down, an agent chooses, okay, this is a billing request, this is an inquiry like we have here, this is a new user account, for example, and they categorize it manually. Then second step, agent forwards the request to a third party or a different team member or department outside of Zendesk, which is a macro which we can use, for example, with I'm having a bit of a brain freeze with side conversations. So we're using side conversations in a macro to reach out to a third party, which is, it might be in the form of an email or through a Slack channel, or we create a child ticket. So we can use the side conversation feature in Zendesk. Then third step is like the third party confirms that the account has been created outside of Zendesk, right? So this, imagine you have Zendesk, you receive a request, and then a customer wants a new account created. Then you have to send an email maybe to someone else in your team who is logged in into your backend system and then creates this account based on an email that you send, like, hey, this guy reached out. They have this email address, they have this name, please create their account in their name. And then the third party gets back and says, yep, all good, done, we're good to go. Then the agent receives that notification back and can easily say, updates the client to let them know that their account has been created on their behalf. So which is another macro, which is a template essentially, right? So this is a list of steps and preconditions that need to happen in Zendesk, which can be translated into Zendesk features and setups, which is something which I can help you with. And you can also do this yourself. All right, so this has been one use case. If you have any questions, please go ahead and comment below. I'd love to answer your questions if this didn't make sense. Yeah, but I hope it did. If it didn't, I'm very much looking forward to seeing your comments to make you understand, or to help make it more that it makes more sense. All right, so now we have another use case for a chat request. So this is another global use case. The department is going to be the German department this time. And we have another inquiry about discounts. So a customer writes to us and says, hey, do you have any discounts? I'd like to maybe buy something for Black Friday. Ta-da. Who are the actors? The customer and the chat agent. All right, so let's see the preconditions. So it's a chat channel request. So number one, customer visits the German version of the website and requests a chat by selecting the German department, right? So this means that you have to set up a pre-chat form, right? So in your chat, you set a pre-chat form and you ask the customer to choose a department to be forwarded to. You can offer support in one or multiple languages. And in this case, we have a number, let's say, of 5 departments of 5 different languages, which we create departments for: German, English, Spanish, French, and Finnish. Why not? All right, so they choose the German department and they are forwarded to an agent that receives a notification and takes the chat. So an agent that is part of the German department receives a notification that they have a chat request, and it gets assigned to them. Agent replies with a shortcut with product discounts, which means that we have a shortcut already prepared and ready to roll out. So yes, this requires you have to create these shortcuts beforehand to anticipate when customers are going to be asking for these discounts. Then next step, number 4, request customer satisfaction. So, okay, so this means that, the request has been not solved necessarily, because we don't know until the customer confirms that the request has been solved. But we send them the notification, the product discounts, and then customer says, yeah, thank you. And we can close the chat and we request customer satisfaction by firing at the end of the chat and asking how the experience was like. Was it a positive or a negative? And they can leave a comment as well. So a chat transcript is sent to the client. So after the conversation has been completed, after a number of minutes, a trigger sends a confirmation, or not a confirmation, but a transcript into the inbox of the requester, of the customer, to summarize what has been discussed. Now, the steps to solve this request or to complete it and to cater to our customer are the following. So, German agent takes chat. Second step is agent checks discounts to see if this is a discount related to one product or another, or yeah, a list of products, etc. Depends. This is all depends on your business. Agent sends discounts to client, and then agent ends chat. So this is essentially what a use case or user flow or business flow looks like, two of them actually, and how you are encouraged to think about these. So this, for example, I have not written the, let's say the Zendesk features. I have not translated because I wanted you to see how this looks like as well, as if it would come from you, right? So this is something which, yeah, tries to not necessarily mimic, but give you an insight into how you can think about these things. And you cannot have a successful customer service, customer support tool, or customer service setup without having these use cases. So again, you don't have to be picture perfect. You don't have to be super precise. You just have to have a starting point, like a basis, a baseline, and then obviously you iterate based on what comes, what you learn from your customer. Because obviously you can, for example, write, let's say 10 business flows, and then your customers in the first month of you operating in Zendesk come up with, let's say, 3 other types of requests which you had no idea that they had, or the type of request that you had no idea that existed. And then, that's how you get feedback, and that's how you become better. That's how you, essentially become a champion at customer success. So I hope this video was useful. I will follow up with another video tomorrow being Friday. And it's going to be a pretty long list. So yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.